Hi everybody, and how are you today? Welcome back to the series Being a Montessori Parent. Most of us parents have many myths, and out of that one is that arguments are bad for the child. So I'm here to tell you today that arguments are extremely beneficial for your children. They help your child develop some skills which are called executive functions. And what are these executive functions? They are mental processes that help your child reason, achieve goals, set goals, control impulses, filter distractions, prioritize tasks. So all these skills that your child is going to need for his development is coming from the executive functions of reasoning, thinking, persuasion, organization, and so on. And I'm here to tell you today that all these executive functions that your child needs so much for development is actually coming from the arguments that they are having with you or with anybody that they think necessary. So most of us have been subjected to this, that don't argue. It was at many years ago, don't ask questions, but then that became don't argue. And so the child, even with all those thoughts in his head and has a difference of opinion but can't voice it because they're not supposed to argue, and if they are arguing, then we call them disobedient. So some parents actually are so happy that their child is so obedient because they do not argue. But I'm sorry to tell you that it is very essential that your children argue for their development. So let's try to understand how this can happen. How is it a positive rather than a negative? So let's first define what is an argument. An argument is an exchange of opposite views, or we can also say it is a set of reasons that were given with an aim of persuasion. So these are two things that argument means in the very simple way. Now in this definition lies very key words which tell us how important it is for our children to argue. So the first thing is opposite view. So you're exchanging opposite views. The fact that your child is having an opposite view, a difference of opinion, is telling you that the child is using his executive function, which is thinking. And that's very good. The next word that tells us more about why arguments are so good is reason. It says a set of reasons with an aim of persuasion. So reasons, this tells you that your child has developed the power of reasoning. This power of reasoning is very important for them on a day-to-day process in problem solving. And this problem solving is an executive function. The next word that tells us why arguments are so important is persuade. They are trying to persuade you with a set of reasons. So they are learning how to express the difference of opinion in positive ways. They are also learning how to stand up for themselves, and both these skills are extremely essential for them to lead a harmonious life. In an argument, the child is learning the executive functions of thinking, persuasion, and reasoning. So why would we stop this from happening? The bonus that you get by having the argument is also that you get a peek into your child's mind. You get to know what is it that your child is thinking. Most of us parents are living in la-la land, assuming what our children are thinking and not knowing what's cooking inside that brain. So when you have arguments, you're making it open to understand your child's way of thinking, and you know, even if you have to influence them in a positive way because they are having a misunderstanding in their brain, you are going to understand it only through the process of argument. So what is it that makes us really not want our children to argue? I think it is the process of the argument itself. So when you are having an argument with your child, with anybody, there are certain rules that you need to set, like ground rules. So let's talk about those ground rules. So the first one is being respectful to everyone in the argument. So we are expressing our opinion, but we are not putting down anybody else's opinion. So we are being respectful. It's also important to make it clear that responses are welcome, but reactions are not. Reactions is what makes the arguments negative. So it's important to respond and not react. Everyone who is in the argument gets to have a chance to say what they want. See, some people are very, very assertive and they come out, like even children. Some of them will say, no, I want to tell you this, and they're assertive and they come and tell you. But there are a lot of children who would not do this. They want to say something, but they're sitting back there because they haven't got a chance to speak up. So it's important that we give a chance to everyone who is in the argument to express their opinion. This way you are instilling the fact that you need to have an opinion. What do you think about this? And that's another skill that is going to take them a long way in their lives. When a person is expressing their opinion, it is a ground rule that everybody else listens to their point of view. We're talking about listening to understand and not listening to respond. So it's important that everybody does this. At the end of an argument, every time there cannot be a solution, and the beauty of it is that I put forth my point of view, you put forth your point of view, and at the end of it we agree to disagree. That is also a stand that we can take when arguments are happening. So keeping these general rules in mind, if you encourage arguments in your child's life, it is going to help them develop those executive skills which will really, really help them in all aspects of their life. But these arguments cannot be staged. You can't say, okay, now I've heard this video, I'm going to have an argument with my child. No, it cannot be staged. These arguments happen. So the next time you have been offered this opportunity to argue with your child, grab the opportunity and make best use of it. So if you just liked what you heard, please do press the subscribe button. And if you want to know more about Formative Age, you can visit our website www.formativeage.in. Thank you so much for listening, and until we meet again, goodbye.